Keith Neltner is an artist, illustrator, and the founder of Neltner Small Batch.
We're in a place called Camp Springs, Kentucky. My great-great-grandfather actually came from Germany in 1845. He settled here. My family basically has stayed and taken root here. The farm is still a working farm. My oldest brother actually manages the farm, and it's turned into a wedding venue. My mom's still active and cans pickles, and we do a fall festival. So it's rural, but it's, you know, there's kind of interesting things kind of tucked in the hills, and I guess maybe we're one of those. Small Batch, in a nutshell, is a branding studio, whether that be for musicians, the distilling industry, or candy. That really is what we do. We tell stories visually with an aesthetic that I think is unique. So I was able to bring this work ethic to design and creating that was kind of unique, and it really drove me throughout my career. One of the influences with kind of creating Small Batch was, could you take a team that, you know, in a larger agency might be spread out across multiple projects, multiple responsibilities, but what if you could take kind of a core team that just focused on creating? So one of our team members is Jeff Chambers. He's a writer, creative director from, you know, actually the Herzog space that we're in right now. We did the branding for the record store, and Jeff wrote for that, and so we've probably worked together 10 plus years. It's interesting because he brings the level to Small Batch, the tone, the copy tone, not just visually what we do, but in words and storytelling. It's an invaluable talent that he brings.
These guys always grab onto something within this story, and then we get back together and bam, it's this fantastic thing.
Rob Warnick is a local illustrator who has this really kind of ironic, kind of fun cartoon kind of style. But he's worked with us on brands like Ferrera Candy Company out of Chicago. We reinvented Lemonhead, which is a brilliant, you know, 70s brand. He just brought a tone to the project that we needed. Truly, I look at this work as a reflection of us and myself. We have to be proud of that. And I think tapping into the right people for the tone or the aesthetic is just important. I was influenced by people along the way that illustrators that I just admired or saw them firsthand creating spray paint, ink, whatever it might be. And what that ends up doing is creating something that, you know, there's not a repetitive nature in the work. It does feel completely hands-on, and I think in a pretty mobile, computer-centric world, maybe that's what drives my interest in creating something. Even if it shows up on Instagram or on an app, it has origins that were created by a person. So that's really important, I think. In a lot of ways, I try and create that imperfection sometimes in the work. But for me, I layer things and I bring that into the work. There's a moment where I'm like, okay, that's done. Or someone can't just replicate that. Like, we made something unique. So Boone County Distilling Company came to us a couple years ago and said, hey, we want to resurrect this distillery that was in Boone County. So the first product that they launched was called 1833, And it really championed William Schneider as the influence. The tagline that Jeff Chambers wrote was "Made by Ghosts." I think the idea of storytelling, the way we interpret it, can be different. I think, yeah, the process can be really focused. So if it's an illustration or, a bourbon label, a lot of times I'll look for inspiration that tonally might start to feel through color and texture and type how the end piece might feel. So essentially a mood board. But usually things start with tracing paper and it's pretty loose, and then you kind of slowly tighten and funnel and finesse, and we'll share conceptual directions with a client to kind of bring them along as we're creating. You've got ink and printers and paper, and there's a lot of attributes, tactile things that you kind of have to have that vision early on to plan for that or to kind of bring that to life. I think there's a lot of pride in the sense that a lot of the work is created here, and it's inevitably influenced by our environment. There's a truth to what we can bring to a project that applies, and the farm we're still sustaining that, and that is really important. In the afternoon, my kids get home from school and they pop up here and they're an influence to me. It's just procuring that from your life. And someone asked me, how's it going? And it's like, it's just one big life. You know what I mean? Like there's blurred lines in a really good way, where family, I hope my family, my kids, and are influenced by what they're seeing, so they can turn it into something completely different and take something from it and make their own thing. Because I think that my parents and my grandparents would be proud of that.